What's going on, everybody? My name is Rob.
And I'm Whitney.
And we are talking about JK Rowling and where Jesus fits in all of it. So let's do it. Okay, let's just jump right in to it. Lots of controversy surrounding JK Rowling for the past few years, based on what she has said in the past, some differing opinions. But obviously the new Hogwarts Legacy has just come out and it's a smash. But there's a whole other camp of opinions on why we should not be supporting JK, all kinds of things going around. And I think there's a lot there to talk about, specifically how do we as Christians handle accusation, differing opinions, and the social aspects surrounding all of these opinions at once.
For anybody who doesn't know, or if you've been sleeping underneath a rock, JK Rowling is the author of all the Harry Potter books, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Not a huge Harry Potter fan, so I just want to make sure I have.
What a shame.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So it talks about here being put on trial. Like, so a lot of people are having their opinions right now over some controversy, some of the things that she said. So without going into specifics, how should we handle those types of things when someone is put on trial or when we're put on trial?
There is no one absolved of sin or doing wrong things or making mistakes. Okay, so that's point number one. The best example is when in the Bible, the Pharisees brought the woman that was caught in adultery straight to Jesus, right? What happened, for those who don't know the story, the Pharisees were very threatened by Jesus' ministry and were trying to catch him, right? They're trying to trip him up, trying to make him fumble over the law of the time, right? So they find this woman that had been cheating on her husband. They drag her out into the street right in front of him and say, Jesus, what are you gonna do with this person, right? Because Jesus spoke love, he spoke grace, to the point where the Pharisees disagreed because they felt like people should have been justly given a punishment toward that law, right? So they wanted to see, okay, here's somebody who had done something wrong. What is Jesus gonna do? His response blew them away. Very calm, not falling into the trap. See, when Jesus was confronted with a situation, he always spoke to the heart, right? So he did not see the action of this woman. He saw the brokenness inside of her, and always goes to heal the brokenness, always goes to heal the heart. And that's exactly what he did. He said, is there anyone who hasn't sinned? And if they haven't, cast the first stone. So go ahead and accuse if you are completely absolved of guilt. And everybody started to walk away. Why? Because we've all made mistakes, right? So if we're gonna talk about how we as Christians handle accusation, first off, we need to handle it with grace because we've been given much grace.
Absolutely.
Right? We accept that free gift. So if there's anybody being spoken ill of or talking about, well, did you hear what this person did? Our first response is grace. Second, what is the heart issue? And for so often in these public arenas, we don't know the whole story.
Come on!
We can't know JK Rowling's heart. We don't know all the intricacies of her work environment and what that was required. Like, there's so much that we don't know, but we should always, with the people that are around us that we do have influence over, let's talk about the heart. Well, why does that strike a chord in you? What's going on here? That's the thing that God has called us to speak to, and that's what he wants to bring healing over. We love to go crazy over the symptoms of people's lives, right? Sin is the symptom of brokenness.
Absolutely.
To address the sin specifically might not be the best approach in the moment, but let's talk about what's going on in here. What is God needing to heal inside of our broken heart, you know?
And you never know, with her being such in the public eye, she may have somebody who's telling her specifically what to say. And it might not even go with what she's really feeling inside, or maybe what she said is not entirely what she meant. So,
and I would love to know, I would love to like sit down with JK myself and be like, what's going on here? But again, I don't have that privilege, right? And I think one thing that's so important to know is like Jesus had the privilege of knowing everybody, right? So whoever he encountered, he knew exactly what to say and how to say it to them. We might not always know. So I think the third step within that whole concept is bringing it to the Lord, using your discernment, right? He's given us the Holy Spirit that is interceding on our behalf. He's he's going to the Lord with our prayers and also lives inside of us to give us exactly what we need to speak to whatever's happening in front of us, right? So we need to practice hearing. We've talked about that on this show before, right? To practicing listening to the Lord. This is another great experience that we can use to help practice hearing from him and then speaking what the Lord wants to say in that moment. Always go back to him.
That's so good, because I even think when you say that, I think of maybe the conversations that have been brought up to me, whether it be like in my friends or students that I interact with. They'll come to us with problems or something that they see, and so they'll say, hey, how should I do this? Well, it's hard to speak into that when you don't know the person or the situation. So it's hard to speak into somebody's life when you don't know that. And then having that foundation of knowing that person before you actually speak into them is very, very wise.
Absolutely. How many times have we done something because we are hurting inside, right? And to others, it might seem like this external act that's either painful or something that's unrelated, but like I'm hurting, and so I might lash out, right? We don't know what's going on, but to build that equity with the people around you is important. To know their story. Like I said, Jesus knew exactly how to speak to people because he knew them, he created them. So how do we tap into that thing through the Spirit, through our discernment, and speak to the heart?
It reminds me of the saying, hurting people hurt people.
Ooh, that's right.
So it's like when someone hurts me, I always think, okay, they may be hurting in a way too that I'm not seeing that. So before I get angry or I'm like, oh, retaliation or, whatever comes to mind, the first thing I think about is, okay, they may be hurting in a different way or maybe they're having a bad day. They didn't mean that. Let it rest, and then maybe even have a conversation. But just keep in mind, hurting people hurt people. It might not be their full intentions.
Exactly. The relationship is so much more important than just being right in a conversation.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Jesus came and died for us for connection, for a relationship. We need to prioritize that. We need to make that the forefront of what we are trying to do with people around us and protect it. So I think that's really great.
So we're talking about JK Rowling and Harry Potter. What house are you?
Oh, talk about controversy. There's a little bit of controversy in my house between me and my wife about this exact question. So when I first took the test, I was a Hufflepuff, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. But I have some philosophy, okay? She just thinks I want to be a part of Gryffindor, but I have some logic, okay? Go with me here. Okay. Sarah, behind the camera, go with me here. She's a Hufflepuff, if y'all want to know. Hermione Granger.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Big Gryffindor. We all know her if you've watched the movies or read the books. She's a big nerd, right? She's in the books. The house that caters to that type of skill set is Ravenclaw, okay? So why wasn't she a Ravenclaw? Great question. I'll go back to that later. Ron Weasley, not the bravest human being. He's kind of a coward the whole time, right? A big trait of Gryffindors is bravery. So why was Ron in Gryffindor? That's a great question. When Harry was put under the sorting hat, I'm bringing my preacher voice out right now.
You are. I mean, you're getting serious.
This is serious. This is serious work. The hat was originally going to put him in Slytherin, but he asked for Gryffindor. Why? I believe that the house you can be put in will bring out those things in you. And so, yes,
that's deep.
A Hufflepuff, I think I am naturally inclined to that. So I don't doubt that test was right, but if I think the house that would bring the best out of me is Gryffindor. So big Griff all the way. That's my spiel.
I guess I'm going to have to take the test. I was feeling a James Meehan moment when you were talking about how he put the hat on and it said he was Ravenclaw. Is that what you said?
He was going to be Slytherin.
Oh, Slytherin.
But he wanted to be Gryffindor, and the hat took his choice into account.
So it reminds me, this is my James Meehan moment. It kind of makes me think about how sometimes we want to be some way, but then if we dig into like our Bible, you said that it would pull out the good things.
Come on, somebody.
And to help us. So it's like maybe we are being like a Slytherin. Sarah's editing it. I didn't say that I would execute like James Meehan.
Sometimes we believe we are supposed to be a certain thing. Sometimes the world has given us an identity, but God has given us a new name.
There you go.
Okay?
See, I just needed Rob to just icing the cake. Whatever.
He's called us a child of God. He calls us a child of love. Why are we here?
I don't know.
I think in everything, I know this is such a cliche answer, but it's telling you it's the right answer. Just be like Jesus.
Absolutely.
How does Jesus handle people? Always with love.
Yep.
He wants to heal the brokenness inside of us, and he's called us to do, as his followers, he's called us to do the same. right? Not to cast stones, but to bring forgiveness through Jesus, okay?
And we may not have the right answers.
No.
And that's okay. You don't always have to have answers.
No. And I think that's another important part too. Like, be willing to go on the journey with people too. Yeah. If you don't know right away, stick around. Be persistent. Be consistent with people. Get to know. Build the equity with the people around you so that when the time comes, you'll be able to speak truth in the right way.
So our action step is just to be like Jesus.
Yes.
But I want to know in the comments, what house are you? Is that the way to ask it?
Yes, absolutely. What house are you?
I'm not a Harry Potter fan.
And tell her, put it in the comments.
Someone's
tell
gonna
her
cast
to
stones at me
take
now.
the
I'm
test.
so sorry.
Read the books. Watch the movies.
Can I just be a Dobby?
What? No.
Is Dobby cute? You don't want to be a Dobby? I'm a good elf.
Take the test, Whitney, and comment. What's your house? We'd love to know.
I want to know. And also, how can we be praying for you guys?
Yes, please.
If there's situations going on and you don't know how to handle them, all of us would just love to be praying for you guys and helping you be like Jesus in all the situations that you may come through. Yeah. So let us know. Make sure to comment, subscribe, like, do all the things, because we love to see you here each and every week.
Bye.
See you guys.